create the report, I will come up and choose create and then the report wizard, and I'm going to come out and look for a query out here called query imp freight by date, and I will pull in all of the fields here. I'll click on next. It's asking me if I want some grouping levels here. It's going to group by ship via, which sounds good. That's what I want. I'm going to come back out here and pull in the full name from there, and I think that's going to go ahead and do it as far as my grouping levels go. I'll click on next. I'm going to go ahead and sort by the sum of freight. Click on next. I'm going to just use stepped here. They have different formats, of course. I'll just use stepped. We're going to be modifying this anyway. So finally, what title do you want for your report? I'm just going to go ahead and give this something like employee freight by date. I will preview the report, click on finished, and up comes the report. Now if you'll notice, we had a little problem here because the ship via is not actually pulling the name. It's just coming out here and it looks like it's just pulling the ID from the shippers table. So that's not going to work for me. So we got to make a change there. I'll close my report. I'm going to go back out into my query employee freight by date, and I'm going to open this up in design. It looks like I'm going to need that shippers table after all, so I'm going to right click, say show table out here, and I'm going to say shippers, double click, click on close, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and take this ship via field out of here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull in the company name out here instead. So I'll go ahead and delete this guy. I'm going to go ahead and grab the company name, drop this in here, puts it right back in the same spot. Now there's just one little problem here. The company name is different than ship via. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out here and type in ship via colon, and that'll give this thing a name instead of the company name. Oops, just got to make sure I spell this exactly the way it was spelled back in the report. So it's just called ship via, one word with no spaces. So could have done this in the beginning. I could have just brought in company name when I started, but since it's already been called ship via out in the report, I have to use the same name out there. So I'm just going to pull in company name here and then just rename it. It should work out fine on the other end. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, save changes. And now when I come out here and take a look at my employee by freight, I don't see the number. I see the actual name from the shippers table. I'll just go ahead and maximize this, and as I scroll through I can see my grouping levels. I have ship via federal shipping, I have the name of my employees, the sum of freight, and then the order date, and it just comes all the way down here and works its way out. We can also see within each grouping that I'm sorting by the freight amount, the freight total out here in the freight column. Now I'm not seeing any totals per employee for each shipper grouping, and I'd really like to see a total out here for each employee per shipper, so I'm going to add that back in. And I also want to get rid of this banded row business that they're doing out here with the two-color shading. We're going to take that out as well. So I need to move to design view. I will come out here under my home tab, click the drop down arrow, and choose design view, and that takes me back. And up here at the top, if I click on group and sort, I can actually see that I'm grouping on ship via first, then I'm grouping on full name, and I'm sorting by the sum of freight. Well, out here under the group on full name, you can see that I have a full name header and I have a ship via header, but I don't have a full name footer or a ship via footer. I would like to have a total out here. I don't even have a report footer. I can do totals up on all of these, but I'm going to come out and put this first on my full name header. I'm going to come out full name, and under more I'm going to say with a header section, without a footer section. Click the drop down arrow and say with a footer section. That'll pop in a footer section out here. Let's take care of that banding. I'm going to come out here and double click just on the background of my full name footer. It brings up the property sheet, and if I look out here I can see that we have a alternate back color. I'm going to click here and just choose no color, and I'll do the same for the detail section. I'll just say no color, and then again for the full name header I'll click the drop down here and say no color, and also for the ship via header I will say no color, and then up under the page header if it even applies. I don't think it does. So let's see what we have here with that right now. If I come back out here and click on my print preview, I can see that I've gotten rid of that banding that was annoying me. I will come back out here and move to click the close print preview. Drops me back into design view. Let's narrow things up a little bit. I'm going to grab this guy, close this down, and let's see, I've got my date footer out here on the last page. That's fine. In the full name footer, I'm just going to come out here and grab this sum of freight. I'm going to do a Control C to copy this, click down in here, do a Control V to paste this, and I'm going to drop this down right underneath the one that was right here before. And at least let's see what we get inside of the full name footer. I think I'm going to put in a label here as well, so I'll come out here and I'll click and just type the word total. I will press escape. Oops, try this again. There we are. Come up here. Just put total right next to this guy. Now if you get this sort of an error looking button here, this is just telling you that it doesn't know what this label is associated with, and I'm not worried about it, so I'll just say ignore error. We'll just place it out here next to the sum of freight. All right, let's see what we end up with. I'll come back out here and I will choose print preview. And out here underneath the total, I can see that all it's doing is just grabbing the first entry inside of Janet Leverling's total for this date. So I want to sum up all of this at once. So let's go back in and make a change. I'll click on close print preview. And I'm just going to change this up by typing in a sum function, just saying equals, and then in parens, surrounded by brackets, I'm going to put in the name of the field, sum of freight. And by doing this, I will sum this up per grouping level for the full name. So by placing this here under the full name footer, I will get it underneath each full name header grouping. It will do the sum of what's up above. Let's take a look at this now. I'll come up and just click on my view button here, and I can see that it's working. This totals up to 79.73, so it looks like it's working okay. Back here in design view, if I'd like to go ahead and include this grand total at the end of the report, I need to bring up the report footer. And I can click on this and just pull this out here. And then automatically, if I look at the Groupon Ship Via and click on more, it says without a footer section. This would be for just this grouping right here under the Ship Via. I want to do this for the whole report. So all I need to do is just come out here under report footer and drag this down. And I'm just going to grab, in fact, I'm going to grab this label here, hold the Control key and grab this guy, do a Control C to copy these, click on my report footer area, and then it just goes ahead and drops these in here. And this will show up at the bottom of the last page of the report and do a grand total for all of the freight. And if I come back out here and click on my view, and then I run out here to print preview, and then move to the last page of the report, I'll see the grand total has the amount out here at the bottom. I think I'm done here. All I need to do now is go ahead and close my report, and then I'll be all set. Remember, this is plugged into the query that I created a moment ago.